Hello YouTubers, and today I am going to be reviewing the two Series 9 12th Doctor figures and the 10th Doctor in the Tuxedo. Now, I do already have these figures. In fact, they were released back in, I believe, 2016, the start of 2016, maybe 2017, but they were released over a year ago, that I know. Now, they were originally released as a Forbidden Planet and also a character online exclusive, but now they've B&M have got them in for a much more reasonable $4.99, though the original $9.99 price was still pretty reasonable. But at $5.99, that's just a bargain. So let's get on and take a look at the packaging, shall we? Okay, so let's start with the standard 12th Doctor figure. Well, I'm going to call that. You've got the 2010 onwards Doctor Who logo until 2017. Obviously, it's different now. BBC logo, and it's the diamond scale packaging. And we've got 12th Doctor collector's figure, and it's in the 5.5 inch / 14cm scale. Notice we've got a character options logo on there. More about that later. And in the background, it's sort of like a cross between the Peter Capaldi and the sort of Baker era title sequence, which is nice. It displays the figure nicely. I really like these sort of window boxes and that are resealable. It shows off the sonic screwer, and it's got a little peg on there, which is really nice because it means that it's very easy to display and, you know, on a hook, which I have done with my other versions of this figure. If we take a look at the back, we've got a load of information, so yeah, pause to read that when you like, because I surely cannot be asked to read it. You've got a picture of the prototype, and again, the character options logo. And that's it for that one. The other 12th Doctor figure is basically the exact same information on the back. The only difference is, obviously, it's the other figure. And then we have the 10th Doctor, which has the Classic Series logo. Because for some reason, a character decided that any series that isn't the current series will have the Classic Series logo. Whether that'll be if they release the B&M Sector 2018, who knows? Will it have this logo, or will it have the Series 11 logo? But you can see it shows off the 10th Doctor very nicely in the same window style packaging, and it says the 10th Doctor in Tuxedo. But notice it says undergroundtoys.com. Yes, this one says character, but this one says Underground Toys. Now, Underground Toys are no longer really a thing, and on some of them, you will get a black sticker over it, covering that up. But interestingly, we've got the Underground Toys logo and the character logo on the back. We also have what the set includes, which is I forgot to say in the others, but it's just the figure and the sonic screwer. Nice picture of the prototype and some information about the 10th Doctor. It's got the dates wrong, though it should be 2005 to 2010, because The End of Time Part 2 was broadcast on New Year's Day 2010. And we've also got some information about Voyage of the Damned. However, he also wore this in Rise of the Cybermen, but he didn't have the sticky uppy hair. And he also wore it in the Lazarus Experiment. You can see you've got a big long quote from the 10th Doctor there. And that's pretty much all the information. Again, you've got the peg on the top and that, so very nice packaging. It's nice that you can reseal these ones and that, so you can take them out and put them back on display. It is very much, you know, the character are thinking about the collectors here, so that's nice for those purposes. So anyway, let's get the figures out of the box and take a proper look at them, shall we? Okie dokie, so here we have all three figures out of their box. And first of all, I'm going to take a look at the two 12th Doctor figures, so I'll just move 10 out of the way in the background. So these are basically identical, and they reuse a lot of the same parts from the first batch of 12th Doctor figures, so let's just take a look at them. And oh dear, you can see that's a typical problem with these types of figures, is that they fall over very easily. So let's take a look at what we might want to call the standard variation. So let's take a look at that head sculpt, and it looks really good, to be honest. The only problem with it is the paint apps are a bit thick. However, on this B&M version, I don't know if it's you or me, but to me it looks slightly better. He's got more of a jowl, and he looks a bit more sort of wrinkly and that. I think the paint apps aren't quite as thick as the initial release, which does make it look a lot better. You've got the hair, which looks excellent. It's got a nice, lovely wash on it. That really helps it. If I just focus in on it, it's got a lovely, lovely wash. You can see the eyes and especially those eyebrows. We just take a look at all of that. It looks absolutely lovely. You can see the hair should be a bit lighter, really, but doing this darker and the lighter wash on it does help bring out all of the details in it, and especially those eyebrows and that. It's a lot better than the original one, but maybe it could have done with a bit more wrinkles, but honestly, this is the best Peter Capaldi head we've got in the character options line. You can see the hood on the back, which is dark blue. You can see the hoodie there, which I really don't like the hoodie, but the hoodie variant was an obvious one, and the hood just sits over the top. Now, I was wondering, is the hood a separate piece? And as you can see, it is. The hood is a separate piece that just sits on top of the coat there. It seems to be just glued on, but you can see the buttons and that, and the shirt, which the pattern isn't exact, but it is close enough. And you can see the lines and that there, which all looks very nice. It's very nice sharp paint. You know, I can't see any paint bleeds, and this was the case with most of them in the shop. I couldn't really tell. You've also got the buttons here, which are being painted black, and on the cuffs you can see the red button there, which is being painted very nicely, which is always nice. Well and good. If we just zoom the camera out, you can see the red button there, which is a nice touch to detail. Although, saying that, this cuff should be undone. The bottom two buttons should be undone, which is something they haven't bothered doing for this figure. You can see the red button on the other side as well. My camera is just having a bit of a focusing match. You can see there that it is just the same on the other side. You can see the lines and that going down the coat, which all look very nice. And you can also see the pockets, which are being sculpted in. It is the exact same coat sculpt as we had last time, and it's going to be the same for the 2018 B&M one, so we're not getting another coat sculpt. And you can see the 3 buttonholes along there, which all looks nice. And they've also painted the bottom of the zip and the actual zip itself, which is something that they haven't been doing quite a lot recently, but they did do it on here. The hands. Now, I do like you've got the poseable sort of Peter Capaldi hand, as you call it, so you can do the sort of thing like that way he puts his hand towards the camera, which is a lot in the publicity photos. The only problem I have with these hands is they are far too hard. Unlike, say, you know, previous 10th Doctor hands or other Doctor's hands, these ones are made of a really hard and rigid plastic, which makes it very difficult to put the sonic screwdriver in his hand. I had a really difficult time putting the sonic screwdriver in the other 12th Doctor's hand, so that was an issue. You can see the trousers there are these plaid trousers, which look pretty accurate, and also they've got a dirt effect over them. I don't really think they should really be this dirty, to be honest. I remember them being quite clean. Then you've got the boots, which is another issue, because it makes the figure even taller, because you can see that rather than sculpting a bit where the boots are tucked in, they've changed the boots so they have the bit of the boot here, the lip or something, sticking out, which means that the 12th Doctor is even taller than he was before, which does make this an issue, because it means that he is way, way, way too tall for the 12th Doctor. I mean, he's taller than Tom Baker, and Tom Baker should be the tallest figure because he's the tallest Doctor. You can see on the bottom there, it's just the plain old, you've got a bit of tread on there, which is nice, but overall, you know, it is a variation. In terms of articulation for this figure, the head can go from side to side, but it can't do a 360. And even if you try, you probably take all the paint off the neck. The arms can go out 90 degrees, and they can swivel through 360. You got a 90-degree bend, and the wrists do a 360 as well. We've got some waist articulation. We've got some thigh articulation, which doesn't seem to want to move. There we go. thigh articulation and 90-degree at the knee, and also some boot articulation. So very nice articulation, which means you can pose this in various different poses, which is always nice, well and good. Overall, you know, this 12th Doctor, I mean, it's not a variant I'm particularly fond of, to be honest. I don't like the 12th Doctor's hoodie, but that head sculpt I do really like. It's such a shame that the heads aren't natively removable. I don't think so. No, that isn't. So, unfortunately, you can't just take off the head and swap the heads. Now, if we quickly take a look at the other variant, if we compare the two here, it is just, again, a repaint and that, and it's just reusing parts. The trousers are just a plain black and that, and I think I prefer this variation because it is, you know, a darker, more plain look. You've got the jumper here. The first time you've got Peter Capaldi's very expensive jumper, which is very rare, with the sort of white holes or whatever it is throughout it. And the hoodie is just painted in a green colour. It is a dark green colour, if we just see it there. And we've got the detail of the zipper and the red button on the side. And everything's pretty much exactly the same. You can see here, he is posed with the sonic screw, and he can sort of point it in that fashion. But to be honest, it isn't great. If we take a look at the Sonic itself, the Sonic is actually very rubbery. And it's hard to show it, but we're just focusing on it. You can see it is very well detailed, and that they've painted the end tip silver, although it should be clear, though, you know, I think painting it silver does help it make it stand out. And it is got some really nice paint apps. It's very, very well detailed for its size. And just taking a look at the back, you can see here all the bits in there. The problem is it doesn't fit it's in his hand properly, and it's because of this end bit here with these sort of claw ridge sections going out. And the problem with that is that these 12th Doctors were never made to fit that sonic screwdriver. It was made to fit the Matt Smith one, because it is using the exact same 12th Doctor sculpt. All they've done is they've changed the white shirt for the t-shirt with the hoodie over the top, and also the boots. That was the only thing that they changed, so that is a bit disappointing. But anyway, let's go on to the 10th Doctor, shall we? Okie dokie, so does the 10th Doctor fare any better? Well, yes and no. It is using the sort of end of time style head, or is it? Well, actually, yes and no. It's actually using the 10th Doctor in Bentalian spacesuit head, from the looks of it, because it doesn't really look much like the end of time head. It looks like the 10th Doctor in Bentalian spacesuit. So it isn't a new head, it is an existing head, but the 10th Doctor in Bentalian spacesuit, which is the red spacesuit, that from series 3, that one had a glossy finish to make it look like the Doctor was sort of sweating and hot, whereas this one's just been given the regular Tennant paints and apps. Look, if we just take a look at the rest of him here, you can see here that we've got the tux, which is something completely new. The tux doesn't look like it's being reused from any other figure. So you can see there we've got just the plain black bow tie and the sort of wedding sort of shirt there, which does look really nice, and it does have the little grooves in it that are sculpted in, which is all nice. We've got the single button here, and also the lapels and that, which all look good and correct, and the pockets as well as the creases, and also the buttons around the arms. Now, this is one of the few 10th Doctor figures that has swivel joints, and also, I believe it's the only 10th Doctor that has ball-jointed arms. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, just looking at the hair, it looks all nice and that, but, you know, it is, I am a bit sick of the 10th Doctor figures. The legs are actually just regular 10th Doctor legs from every other 10th Doctor figure. You can see here the line going down the side, and all they are is just the repainted ones, but we've got the black trainers, which has never been seen on a 10th Doctor figure before, and it is just obviously the repainted ones, but yeah, the 10th Doctor wearing his black trainers, which I'm surprised we've never got like a brown suit variant with the black trainers, because, you know, character loves to release 10th Doctor figures. But yeah, it was weird because they seem to put more effort into the 10th Doctor figure than the 12th Doctor figures, which is a bit odd. You'd think they put more effort into the Capaldi ones because, you know, the 10th Doctor one. But to be honest, the 10th Doctor one seems to have more effort put into it than those. Also, the 10th Doctor hands also have articulation, which again is a rarity. I believe the only other 10th Doctor figure to have wrist articulation was the regeneration version. So it means the hands are made of a harder plastic, just like the Capaldi ones, which, but the Sonic Screwdriver is easier to fit in because this 10th Doctor figure was actually made to fit the Sonic Screwdriver. But the Sonic Screwdriver is new for this 10th Doctor because it's in closed mode. Now, it's actually too big because it should be smaller, but it's actually the same size as the regular one. You can see the tip there. If I show it by the tip, it's hard to show this, but actually if I put it down and we tilt the camera and we just zoom in on it. So yeah, if I just put the camera down there, you can see there the tip is far too long. You can see the slider, which is sculpted, and that looks all nice, well and good. And you can see also the sort of other sections of it. So it is probably the best detailed sonic screwdriver that 10 has ever had. Can we just focus in on there? So you can see there all the little details and that, and it, you know, it kind of looks like they've tried to put the blue slider thing, or whatever that was, in there, but maybe just didn't at the last minute. But yeah, that is a little bit unfortunate. But overall, I think, in terms of a nicer figure, I think the 10th Doctor figure is actually a nicer one. But anyway, let's get on to my final thoughts on these, shall I? Okay, so my final thoughts on these figures. I do really like them, but in other cases I don't. With the Peter Capaldi, I mean, you can see there that Peter Capaldi is towering over the 10th Doctor. Though the 10th Doctor figure was always a bit too short, to be honest. He always seemed a bit too short because, you know, David Tennant is practically the same height as Capaldi. Probably might be slightly taller, but, you know, it shouldn't be this massive of a difference. And in terms of the 10th Doctor figure, it is nice though, and also it's one of the few worthy variations of the 10th Doctor figures because we've had so many over the years. Like, to be honest, there are far too many, and if you just wanted a 10th Doctor figure, this isn't really the one to go for. Just go for a standard brown or blue suit variant. In terms of the 12th Doctor figure, you know, is this the best 12th Doctor figure? Well, ordinarily, I would say these were the best variants. However, to be honest, the B&M 2018 Red Coat release, which is coming out later this year, is probably going to be my favourite because I'm just not a fan of the hoodie. If you are, then there you are. But they are far too tall, and this is an issue that, you know, character have had for ages. But to be honest, it's hard to really quibble about that £5 price tag. Now, if you are going to be buying these from B&M, not every B&M is going to be getting them, and apparently, you know, they're going to be limited stock. So I have no idea how many that they're going to get in. So, you know, just ring up your local B&M. The Got To merchandise page has the product code, so just ask for, have you got this item in stock. Generally, if you can't get through, go to your larger B&M. I've tried going to 4 different ones and they didn't have it, but I did go to the biggest one that's in my local area, and they did have them in. So yeah, it only seems to be like the larger B&Ms that are getting them in at the minute. Maybe the smaller stores will get them in as well, but it is still a good price. You can still buy these from Character Options website as well for £10 and in Forbidden Planet for I believe £10 or £10.99 and that. So £5 is a really good price for them, especially for people. And yes, I know these people exist out here who love, love, love to customize. It's a great time to get these figures, to customize them, especially the 12th Doctor figures. Not so much the 10th Doctor figure. I mean, the 10th Doctor figure, if you needed some extra heads for the 10th Doctor that isn't the Series 2 head that they used for far too long, then this is a good time to get that. But otherwise, it's, you know, you can't really do much with the Tuxedo variation. But anyway, that's it for this review. I've gone on far too long. Apologies for the camera. Unfortunately, I've had to film this review here because I can't film where I usually film at the moment. So anyway, that's it for this review, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.